seeing the market will be around the next 6 months. I got spaced out any interest in, so we'll see. Next to the Dollar General market I'm doing. The old Jenny spot, so that one, Bill West Marine. Oh, yeah. The murals. Yeah, I don't get it stronger than the mural. I'm trying to get a little 2-foot by 15-foot spot fixed. Mural already stuck. I'm like, the woman that did it, I can't get her. This area. She's like, my day's 15 an hour.
Good.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I could go paint the little stress. No, it's okay. Yeah, the other mural was like, he's very expensive. I'm like, trust me. He's moving into the other building. We actually weatherized it just the other day. So, 500 feet to the east, the old Tesco. He's moving into the east side of that building. The big building there for the time being. He couldn't find anything somewhere, so I said, we'll support you all. Be moving into there now. So, it's 5 times the size.
All right, good morning, everybody. This meeting of the Escambia County Planning Board for April 8th, 2025 is hereby called to order. If you would, we've got, 6 members, voting members present, so we do have a quorum. If you would, please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, I pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Staff, do we have proof of publication?
Yes, sir.
Did the publication meet all legal requirements?
Yes, sir.
I'll entertain a motion to waive the reading of the legal advertisement.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed. The Planning Board meeting minutes for March 4th, 2025 has been provided to the board members. I'll entertain a motion to accept the Planning Board meeting minutes into evidence. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, motion carries. The Planning Board hearing package for April 8th, 2025 has been provided to the board. I'll entertain a motion to accept the Planning Board hearing package and the legal advertisement into evidence. I have a motion and a second.
Second. Motion.
We have a motion.
And a second.
Second. Awesome. All right. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed. All right. Motion carries. We have one case to be heard today, a small scale amendment application for consideration. Is case number SSA-2025-01, which requests a future land use change on 9068 Gulf Beach Highway from commercial to mixed use suburban, as requested by Philip Wong, agent for Lauren Lux Group LLC, the owner. Staff was notice of the hearing sent to all interested parties.
Yes, sir.
Was the notice of the hearing posted on the property?
Yes, sir.
Would the, let's see. Can I have the applicant please come forward, or the representative, and state your name and address for the record, please? Do we have? I just gotta ask you a couple questions. If you don't want to speak, you don't have to, but just gotta check some
Hello.
boxes here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So,
Will you just state your name and address for the record?
I'm Philip, and I come from the Tupelo, Mississippi.
Okay. And did you receive a copy of the information from the staff from the county?
Yes, sir.
You did, okay. All right, and then I think that's it for now. We'll have the staff go into their presentation, okay? So you can take a seat.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right. Yeah, you can consider it. Yeah, thank you. Staff, I'll have you go through the maps and photographs and go through your findings of facts.
Yes, sir. Andrew Holmer, Escambia County Development Services. This is a small-scale amendment to 2025-01. Here we have our location map. As you can see, it is on north side of Gulf Beach Highway, just east of dog track. The zoning on site is heavy commercial, light industrial. The current future land use is commercial. And the requested future land use is mixed use suburban. This is showing the accident potential zone map that is overlaid. Airfield Influence Planning District map. It is in AIPD 1. Here's our accident potential zone map. This is why it's in AIPD 1. This is in APZ 2, and it is not in line with the runway. The density restriction is 3 dwelling units per acre. Is an aerial of the site. The notice of public hearing sign posted on site. This is looking north to the property across Gulf Beach Highway. That's looking south. Another view across Davis Highway, or Gulf Beach Highway. Why did I say Davis? This is an adjacent parcel, which appears to have a house that is just to the west of the subject parcel on Gulf Beach. That's looking south along Gulf Beach Highway. And looking northwest from Kepler and Gulf Beach Highway. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need all of them. As to the findings, so again, this is a small scale map amendment. It is 1.67 acres, so falls well within the 50 acre limitation on a small scale. Anytime we're seeing a flue change where they're seeking to change from commercial and drop down into one of the mixed use categories, it's generally because the limitation on HCLI's density, residential density, is limited, thank you, when you have a future land use of commercial. It would be limited to primarily a commercial development with residential being secondary. Obviously, on a parcel this size, there would be some challenges there. But the density that is sought with the future land use change is the same as commercial. It's 25 units an acre, but again, in that accident potential zone 2, it's limited to 3 units per acre. So as to the requirements. So general amendment conditions, a conversion to mixed-use suburban will allow for residential uses. That is as far as saying, is there a need? It will allow for those residential uses straight up residential. Professional practices, proposed change will support the use of non-residential and residential uses. The description of the proposed flue category includes the goal of providing residential development for current and future residents. To the amendment conditions, this is based upon an analysis required by Florida statute, and this complies with all 3 conditions. One being the subject parcel is 1.67 acres and, of course, is lower than the 50 acre limitation on small scale. It does not involve a text change to the comp plan, but only proposes land use change to the map. And this property is not within a designated area of critical state concern. Other applicable comprehensive plan objectives and policies, it will be suitable for residential and commercial development. The future land use categories in the surrounding area are commercial, mixed-use urban, and mixed-use suburban, which support residential and non-residential development. The change to mixed-use suburban would not change the area characteristics while allowing for residential development within the limitations of the APZ. As far as infrastructure, potable water, People's Water is the provider of potable water for the area. Solid waste collection is provided by ECUA. Stormwater management, transportation. As far as transportation, yes. FDOT has a resurfacing project for State Road 292, and funds are limited. It will be just a portion of the road. Transportation and Traffic Office has no concerns regarding this proposed small-scale amendment. TTO's review is solely based on the small-scale map amendment submittal packet, so the comments hold no bearing on any comments that would be made in development review. As far as the protected resources, the subject parcel is not within a wellhead protection area based on Escambia County GIS. The property is currently vacant and has not been identified as having any historic or archaeological structures. And as to natural indicators, there are no indications from the available National Wetland Inventory map of any wetlands. If any protected trees are located for future development, they will be analyzed for compliance with all applicable environmental regulations before the issuance of development plan approval. And that concludes the conditions.
And board members, thank you, Drew, for that. And I do want to say, for the record, if the board do decide to grant this small-scale map amendment, I want to be sure that the applicant understands that there are still other things that has to be reviewed when it comes to the actual, because the lot is still constrained with the size, setback requirements. If he may be on DEP, which they have taken over this the septic tank issues and things like that. So all of those things, so I don't want them to think that, yeah, the planning board granted me now automatically think I can get it. There are other things that still have to look into because the house size, all of those things, setbacks, it still is a constrained lot for 1.6 acres. So there's still some other things that our staff will have to look into. This known just carte blanche, yes, do it. Y'all got to do it because the BCC and the planning board told me I can have it. Just want to be clear.
All right. Thank you, Horace. That just one step before anything really can get going. First step in the process. Board, are there any questions that anyone has for staff or the applicant?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I'd like, so the small scale amendment, would you like to guess or assume what would be following in the form of a zoning change?
So it would strictly be a guess, but if they're seeking to put residential solely on the property, the HCLI zoning would allow for that as long as this small scale amendment goes through.
And so I also just want to refresh in my mind's eye the fact that back when zoning was initially implemented is how we got here with this strip going down Gulf Beach Highway in a number of areas because you couldn't take away anyone's property rights. There's a swath of things which seem bizarre to most people driving down it while you have a car lot next to somebody's home. And but because of that, there's majority is or not majority, but sections are strictly commercial. Is that an accurate
Yes.
recall of my memory?
And the original zoning map that was done, essentially, someone took a, 100 yards or 100 feet on either side of the center line of the road and made it all C2, our heavy commercial zoning at the time. The issue there was while Gulf Beach goes at an angle, those lots were all platted north-south, all right, or running east-west, frankly. So it sliced through a bunch of properties. When we did the conversion, what we ended up having to do was, without taking anyone's rights away, if you were split zoned, we went with the majority. So you're going to still end up with a bunch of those that are now HCLI, even though the use on either side of them is residential. So that was the only way to correct for the original error without taking away anyone's rights.
All right. Any other questions from the board for staff or the applicant? All right. I see we do have a couple people in the audience. I don't have any speaker forms. Did y'all want to speak at all today? Just here for information. All right. Appreciate it. All right. I don't think we've got anything else. So if there's no further discussion, I will entertain a motion.
Chair?
Yes, sir.
I would just make a comment from NAS Pensacola because
Yes,
it is
sir.
APZ area. It's been captured in the analysis and that's kind of stands on its own. Just in addition, it is, it's a downwind pattern. It's not in a noise zone that's prohibitive to residential, although real estate disclosures and the standard, if it's residential, will have to be made, and there's going to be overflight for sure.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion for this small-scale amendment.
All right, I motion for approval for SSA 2025-01.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed? All right, motion carries for approval. I don't have anyone signed up for public forum. That was the only item we had on our agenda. Staff, do you have anything for us before we dismiss?
No, just next month is going to be a little lengthier. I have a possibility of 2 rezonings, 2 small scales, and possibly some FEMA ordinances coming as well.
All right, well, sounds
As
good.
as
Yep.
to those FEMA ordinances, just to give you an update on where we are, FEMA has finished their process. Finally, it's been extensive. We now have our new flood maps, which we have to adopt. We are going to adopt them. That's basically what FEMA's telling us. Some people, it lessened their flood risk with the new map. Some people, it increased it. There was a challenge period. We've been through that twice now. So it needs to be adopted for our building code, which I know is separate from what you're dealing with, but also in our LDC, and Santa Rosa Island Authority is updating as well. So we're kind of teaming up on this and trying to do it all together at the same timing, so to speak. We're going to the Island Authority first and then coming here before we go to the BCC, just as an overview.
All right.
Are
Appreciate
these the 16 maps that we're finally adopting?
That is correct. It's been a
Finally!
haul.
I know, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Alrighty, well, if there is nothing else, we stand adjourned, and we will meet again here in this room on Tuesday, May the 6th. Y'all have a good rest of your week.